The flashing red and blue lights cut through the pine trees like knives reflecting off the fog curling around my cabin. 3 squad cars screeched to a stop before I even had time to shut off my own truck. My heart pounded not from guilt I hadn't done a damn thing wrong, but from one chilling certainty. I knew exactly who had called them, and sure enough, there she was peeking from behind the HOA sign at the end of the road, clutching her phone like a weapon, smiling that smug little smile. Karen. The officers came at me with flashlights. "Ma'am, we got a report of trespassing." Trespassing. On my own property. I pointed at the porch beam my name carved into the wood 12 years ago by my late husband Mark. "My family built this place. This is my home," I said. They didn't move. They radioed in, confirmed my ownership, and when they did, Karen disappeared into the bushes like a child hiding from the truth. No apology, no explanation, just gone. That was my welcome home. The next morning, when I thought maybe it had been some horrible joke, I found a violation plastered on my mailbox. Unauthorized occupancy. I ripped it down with shaking hands. She wasn't done. Not even close. I stormed toward the road, and there she was again, sipping coffee like she was watching her favorite TV show. "You called the cops on me in my own house," I yelled. She lowered her sunglasses, arched one eyebrow, and said, "Prove it." The county records had already proven it, and the cops had proven it. But she wasn't talking about proof. She leaned close and whispered, "Some things aren't as simple as they look." Then she turned and walked away, leaving me staring at that bright orange notice like it was a brand burned into my skin. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every sound outside felt like someone creeping around. And I wasn't wrong. Past midnight, I saw flashlights moving near the dock. 3 figures. One, tall, one stocky, and right in the middle, Karen. My breath froze in my throat. I watched them circle my fishing boat, the tall one holding a toolbox, the other gripping something that gleamed like a crowbar. Karen stood there with her arms crossed, giving orders like a general. I stormed outside, boots crunching gravel. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" They all froze. Karen stepped forward with her flashlight. "You shouldn't be here," she said, calm as ice. I laughed bitterly. "This is my property." She sighed. Not for long. The next days blurred into a nightmare. Another violation. Illegal structure. They meant the old toolshed my husband built, the one I still kept locked by the dock. Karen marched board members right up to my porch, clipboards in hand, demanding an inspection. My son David had come home by then. He blocked them on the steps. "You're not coming inside without a warrant," he told them. They shuffled uncomfortable, but Karen smiled sweetly, acting like she was just following rules. And then it got worse. I came home one evening to find my lights dead, my fridge silent. The power had been cut. No storm, no outage, just gone. That same night, a letter slid into my mailbox with no return address. "Stop fighting, or next time it won't be the power." I sat at the kitchen table in the dark, clutching a cold mug of coffee, shaking. For the first time, I wondered if she was right. If maybe I should give up, pack my bags, walk away before something even worse happened. Was I being unreasonable? Was I making this harder than it needed to be? That thought almost broke me. But then David slammed a folder on the table. Inside were copies of the deed, tax receipts, every piece of paper tying this land to me. "She's bluffing," he said, "and if she isn't, we'll fight her in court." The next morning, we went to the county clerk. That's when the truth finally spilled out. A forged plat had been filed, one with my name scrawled across it like someone dragged a pen through mud. Clerk Rivera looked at me with pity and anger. "That's not your signature," she said. "We're flagging this for review. Nothing moves until a judge sees it." My knees almost buckled, but it was hope. Hope that maybe I wasn't crazy. Later that week in the shed, we found more than we bargained for. My husband's old chest tucked against the far wall, locked and dusty. Inside were the original survey's tax records, even water rights agreements older than the HOA itself. I flipped through Mark's notebook, his careful handwriting mapping every boundary. One line stopped me cold. Lot 27 retains controlling interest in shoreline maintenance. David whistled low. Mom, he said, this deed gives you authority over every dock, every boat ramp on this lake. My stomach turned. No wonder Karen wanted me gone. This wasn't about weeds or paint colors. She wanted control of the lake itself. When Karen found out we had the documents, she came harder than ever. Contractors at midnight pry bars on the dock, bolt cutters flashing in cruiser headlights. The deputies caught them red-handed while Karen hid in the trees. She always hid when proof showed up. And then gasoline. 3 men with a can ready to torch my dock. That smell of fuel in the rain nearly made me vomit. The deputies pulled them back, called it attempted arson. My hands shook as I watched the red tag flap on the dock like a wound. The final straw came with the floodgates. Heavy rain, rising water, and Karen herself caught on my camera at the West Control Station with another man hands on the wheel. If they'd opened it, my shoreline would have been swallowed in an hour. We raced there with deputies right behind us. Step back, the officers shouted, flashlights slicing the storm. For the first time, Karen looked cornered. Her voice cracked when she said, "This isn't over." Court came fast after that. The hearing room smelled of paper and rain-soaked coats. Karen's lawyer painted me as a selfish squatter. My dock as unsafe, my shed as illegal. He waved their fake plat like it was gospel. Then Jenna, my lawyer, rose. Calm, steady, with every piece of evidence we'd collected, original surveys, the forged signature analysis, the gasoline. Can the water rights documents, even neighbors who'd been harassed for years. One by one, their voices filled the room. The judge leaned back, glasses low on his nose. "Do you have any evidence contradicting these records?" he asked Karen's lawyer. Silence, stammering. Then, "No, Your Honor." The gavel came down hard. "This court finds the amended plat fraudulent and void. The HOA acted outside its authority. Water rights remain with the property owner, Mary Thompson." My chest cracked open with relief. Karen stood pale but rigid and walked out without a word. But that night, she came one last time, standing at the edge of my driveway with a gas can in her hand. Blue lights flashed before she could move. Deputies cuffed her under the rain, her voice cutting through the storm. "You think you won. It's never over." And maybe she was right in her own twisted way. Maybe people like her never truly let go. But the lesson I learned is this: bullies only win when you stop fighting.